Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Conquer with Chris, the podcast you don't want to miss. Today I have Erin Birch. Erin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thrilled to be here.
Well, it's all my pleasure. Listen, tell people a little about where you came from, how you got here.
Well, here's my story in a nutshell. I was an artisan jeweler for 17 years. I designed my own jewelry. I made my own jewelry. I went out and sold it. And then I woke up on my 44th birthday and I did the math and realized if I was going to live till I was 88, that meant my life was half over. Kind of morbid. But what happens to everyone, same thing happened to me, is when you have that realization that your life is half lived, you are middle-aged, you can't help but ask yourself these questions. How happy am I? How fulfilled am I? Am I where I thought I would be at this age? So I did the whole midlife realization and realized I wanted more. I wanted more out of life. I wanted, more fun, more adventure, more passion. I just wanted more. So I made huge changes in my world that very day. One of them being I became single. And then the next thought was, I'm going to have to start making a lot more money than the $1,500 a month Canadian I was making by selling my jewelry. I was essentially just kind of helping cover the grocery bills. I was at home with our boys, raising the boys. So I was the at-home mom with, the craft to help pay the bills. So then it was like, ooh, I need a lot more money coming in if I'm going to support myself and half for my boys, because I didn't want to take any money from my ex. So I couldn't work any more hours. I was already working 80 hours a week on my jewelry and then going out on weekends and selling it. So I began to look for a way to supplement my income. And I was on Facebook one day and I saw a product demo and I thought, well, this is it. I can just go spam all over social media, and I'm going to make a bunch of money.
Let's pause right there real quick second, if you don't mind, Erin. I had a similar situation. Mine was just this past year. Unfortunately for me, I lost my dad, and he's 27 years old. He was 27 years older than me. So I looked at it, I was like, I don't have that much longer. Like I plan on living longer than he did, because he had a lot of health issues. But here's the thing, nothing's guaranteed. Number two is if I live to be his age, I only have 27 years left. So some things hit me, like you said, and I think it's good that it seems morbid, but it's part of life. You have to address these things. You have to figure out what am I here for? What purpose am I serving? How can I serve more people? That type of thing. So you had this startling realization. You found something you thought was the answer, and you just started going wickety wild with it all over social media. So how'd that work out for you?
Woo! It sucked. It sucked. It was really this life of freedom that I wanted. I didn't care about making millions of dollars a month. It was just to have this life of freedom and be able to travel, and that kind of stuff, and be able to support my boys and all that. So when I came into network marketing, joined my own company, I worked my butt off for 4 months. I wasted $6,000 on my business. I bought car decals, for my vehicle with my phone number on it and the company name and the whole bit. I paid someone to create a blog for me. I just wasted a bunch of money. I did it all wrong, which is great. It's great that I had the realization that I was doing it all wrong. So 4 months in, I heard the statistic that 97% of people trying to make money online don't. And I went, okay, that's me. I'm in that percentile, 97% not making any money. What can I do to be in the 3%? I knew I either had to quit and go get a job at the local grocery store, or I figure out what the 3% are doing and do that. And that's when I, was researching and I came across the whole concept of attraction marketing.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Just in case someone stumbles across this podcast and doesn't know what the heck that is, please tell the people what attraction marketing is, because I had Valerie Walton on, and they might think it's attractive marketing. You know, you just look good, so people like.
Oh yeah, no. Has nothing to do with your looks whatsoever. So most people, because it seems logical that you go online, you've got this product or business opportunity or whatever it is that you're promoting, it just makes sense that you throw it all over the place. Right? And initially what that is spamming. It's like when your Facebook profile looks like a catalog of products. And the truth is, people don't go on social media to buy anything. They go on social media to be entertained or connect. So you kind of have to play by those rules to attract people to you. So attraction marketing is essentially you're building a personal brand, right? You're building an audience, a personal brand. You're bringing people towards you, meaning you're giving them a reason to pay attention to you. And that, of course, is value. You're providing your audience with value so they have a reason to pay attention to you. And then they're there to hear when you do make offers. So it's bringing people towards you instead of pushing them away by trying to shove product or a business opportunity down their throat, which just does not work.
Very, very well said. I couldn't say it any better. And I have a ratio that I use. I call it the loan ratio for a friend of ours. It's 8-to-1. If you're going to share a product or a service that you offer, out of every 8 posts, every 8 times you share, only 1 time should be about something that you're selling or even sometimes giving away, because you want to be high value, low begging, low asking. Until people raise their hand and say, I want something that you have. You don't want to bother them because, like you said, they're there to be entertained, educated, mind-numbing memes or whatever. They're just there. So you found this out. So how do you make the transition?
I understood that I needed to build an audience. So I went hard building an audience, but not just numbers. I built relationships. So I call it filling your relationship pipeline. So I was on social media and I was making friends. I was making friends, like real friends with people. And then I was engaging with my audience by, yes, posting, providing value. I consider myself a lifestyle marketer. Pre-COVID, I traveled all the time. Now, being Canadian, it's too political, so I'm not doing a lot of traveling right now, but I live on Vancouver Island, and I'm a hiker, a kayaker. I'm kind of always going on these adventures and everything. So my lifestyle and the scenery where I am attracts people to me, right? So you learn to engage your audience. What kind of value are you going to provide to your audience? The reason for people to pay attention to you. So, and then I started selling to my audience, promoting to my audience. I had something I was promoting. So as you say, I call it the 80-20 rule, right? 80% value, lifestyle, stories, all this kind of stuff. And then 20% offers, which you can make in the occasional social media post. Of course, if you're growing an email list, you're marketing to your email list, you can offer, but also in one-on-one conversations. So I kept my strategy stupid simple in the beginning. No funnels, no nothing. It was building that audience, building relationships, actually making friends, posting on social media, and having one-on-one conversations. It doesn't get much more simple than that. And that's where people need to start. You know, you can't automate something you can't do manually. So
do that again for the people in the back.
you cannot
do naturally.
People try to avoid talking to people, you know, oh, just have all these funnels. It sounds lovely. Oh, these people are just gonna come in with a funnel and your business is gonna blow up. It doesn't really work that way. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to join a business opportunity, I want to know who I'm going to be working with. I'm not going to join a business opportunity just out of a funnel. I'm going to at least have a conversation with somebody and see if I know, like, and trust them.
That's one of my favorite phrases, know, like, and trust. So out of all the different platforms you had a choice of, you chose Facebook. And you specifically chose a specific type of Facebook. I'll let you share how you came to that acknowledgement and decision.
Well, Facebook, in my opinion, is the easiest platform to communicate with other people. It's just so much easier to be able to get into Messenger and actually talk to people. So, I mean, when I started my business, it's just everyone was doing Facebook. There wasn't really like, I think Pinterest existed, but it wasn't a big deal. There was no TikTok, there was no Snapchat. I've been in the business now 8 years. So Facebook was like the logical platform. I don't even remember asking myself what platform I'm going to use. Everything just started for me on Facebook. So I went with it. And, you know, these other platforms where it's really difficult to have conversations with people, that annoys me. That annoys me. The money is in the conversations, right? So I want to be using a platform that makes it really, really easy to have those one-on-one conversations.
So that leads me to your second key is you got really good at prospecting and closing. So how'd that come about? How, I guess over the time, you figured out, I like talking to this person, so let me try to get them into my system or into my sales. You said you didn't have a funnel, so your sales process, and then you had to learn how to close them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I didn't have any automation funnels and all of that. I knew, like, so if you're wanting a sale, the money is in someone's pocket, someone else's pocket or bank account. So how are you going to get it from their bank account into yours? Well, you're going to have a conversation. So I learned very quickly on that that's where the money was. And so I fell into the world of using scripts. You join a company, you're told, here are the scripts. I even bought scripts. And then I went, okay, if I'm going to be using these scripts, how many other people online are using these same scripts? So therefore, when I say this line, I call it a prospecting pickup line. If I say this same line to someone, they're going to roll their eyes and know I'm reading off a script. So how's that going to work for me? That's not going to build rapport. That's going to break rapport. So I ditched the scripts and decided I need to learn to do this without scripts. And here's the thing about scripts. They're a crutch. So right now, if you're using scripts and they're working for you, great, keep using them. But there comes a point in time where you have to learn how to communicate with people without scripts, because if somebody says something in your conversation and you don't have a script for it, now you're like, crap, how do I respond? I don't know what to say to this. Whereas if you build your communication skills, you kind of always know what to say. So getting good at the conversations. And I always say, if you know the person you're talking to is rolling their eyes when you've said something, that ain't gonna work for you.
Right.
So
That's a good point, because like it's kind of like the show. We don't have a script. There's no script here. Some general guidelines, but no script. So when you're talking to someone, they want to feel the essence of who you are. They want to understand that you're communicating something, and if they want what you have, they've already raised their hand, so they're going to listen to what you have to say. So I think that's important. If like we had a discussion before we even got on, would you be interested in doing the podcast? You said yes. I didn't go like, so Erin, would you like to be on the pod? You gotta, there's some heart and emotion in it. There's people want to feel the realness of the situation. So now comes what people consider the most difficult part, right? There's the old saying that if you hear two people talking, someone's selling and someone's buying. But the hard part of the conversation is you're all, like they said, ABCs always be closing, right? You got to learn the closing aspect of when to close, how to close. So how'd you come into your understanding of how to close?
Well, it just seemed logical to me. So I have a very simple process, and it just seemed logical because there needs to be some flow in your conversation. If you flat out go, oh, you want to make money online? Here's my link. Join me. People are like, whoa. So I kind of follow. It would just happen naturally, really. It's a matter of connecting with someone, building rapport, actually becoming friends, giving this person the opportunity to know, like, and trust you so that their comfort level is there, so that if you do make an offer, they're at least comfortable enough to check it out. So, actually becoming friends with the person, but also asking questions to find out what they're already doing, where they are in life, like what's going on in their world. And you can only get those kinds of answers if you're actually friends. And then finding out where where they want to go, where they want to be a year from now, 5 years from now. Because when you flat out make an offer to someone, it's kind of out of left field. But if you're actually friends and you're asking the questions like friends would do, getting to know each other, then you're able to make a tailor-made offer for that person. And you get a lot more positive responses when they're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. Yes, of course, I'll take a look at it. As opposed to, how do you even know if I'm interested in this? What's going on here?
And,
Oh, you're just trying to make money from me.
and you also know whether you need to ask the question, because they say something like you're selling burgers and they're vegetarian. You know not even make the offer. It doesn't fit them.
You offer a burger and they're going, ew, I'm a vegan. So you want to find out if they're a vegan, and then you're going to offer your strawberries. And they go, oh my God, I love strawberries. Thank you. That's exactly it.
So you had to develop a pretty good mindset to make it through everything you've been through. So how do you develop that mindset to be able to overcome so much? And it seems like you did it in a short period of time.
I went into personal development hardcore. Because here's the truth. Everybody wants success. But are you the person right now who can create that success? So for myself, when I started my business, I was not. Deep down, I thought I was dumb. I thought I had a lower IQ than the average human being. So when you believe you're less intelligent than the average human being, you're not likely to do big things like start your own business, right? So I realized, I became very aware of my self-talk, what I was saying to myself. And I was probably telling myself that I was stupid at least a couple hundred times a day, because I'm not techie. I was an artist. So when I started building my business, I didn't even know how to post a picture on Facebook. I didn't even know how to copy and paste. I am not kidding. When I tell people that, they're like, oh, right, sure. No, seriously. I remember asking my son Wyatt when he was 15. He's, 23 now. I had to get him to show me how to copy and paste. I had no idea. So I remember thinking, okay, there's going to be some tech skills involved in this. It's probably going to take me longer than the average human to grasp these basic tech skills, but so what? I'm doing it anyway. I want this life of freedom. I'm doing it anyway. So I think that was kind of like my jump into kind of conquering my own thoughts. And then I began to be uber aware of what I was saying to myself, and I started self-correcting. So I'm a mindset coach. I basically help people reprogram their brains, because you're running on a program. Every human being is. And it starts long before the age of 7. These BS beliefs we have in ourselves are imprinted into your subconscious mind before the age of 7. It happens from 0 to 7. And if it's not corrected, you will forever say this crap to yourself, which is always BS. So I help people actually find out when that started, because then once they realize it, that it was like, oh my God, my dad used to say this to me, and now I've always felt this way. Once they can kind of figure it out where it came from, then you can pull that out of your programming. It's like pulling out your own programming and putting a new program in. Because most times people aren't successful in life because of what they're saying to themselves about themselves. And that becomes your identity. Right? Like I was identifying as a stupid person. That was my identity, and it held me back my entire life. Like being in a conversation, I would shut my mouth because if I say something, everyone's going to realize I'm dumb. So I will just zip it and not say anything. So that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your belief in yourself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People thought I was dumb because I wouldn't open my mouth. So I began to reprogram my own brain. I have all these little mind hacks that I use on myself and I teach my clients to get control over the narrative, the BS narrative that is playing inside your head that is holding you back from taking action, holding you back from being happy.
So give the people one of the mind hacks that you use. Just give them one. Just one.
Start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself. Become aware of it and then question it. So you can ask yourself, so for me, oh, you're dumb. I would go, wait a minute. Is that true? Or is that a story I've been telling myself since I was 5? Right. That's a story. That's not even true. So you start self-correcting this. It only takes 60 to 90 days to reprogram your brain. I never say that to myself anymore, that I'm stupid. I went from saying it a couple hundred times a day to never saying that anymore. I've reprogrammed that idea, that identity. Essentially, you're changing your identity when you do this. You identify as being a certain way, you get rid of that program, you now have a new identity because I no longer identify with somebody, that as a person with a really low IQ. I may not be brilliant, but I don't care. I really don't care. So you can change your very identity by changing your programming.
They say that people with high IQs have problems accomplishing things because they're so smart they get in their own way.
Yep. Or they have no social skills. I know some extremely smart Mensa member people, but oftentimes, not for everybody, but some people I know, they like the social skills aren't there.
What I say to that is like there's a trade-off for everything, and you can always learn. Just because you're highly intelligent doesn't mean you can't learn social skills, and it may be hard for you. For anyone watching that may be highly intelligent, it may be difficult for you, or you might be like a recluse. You might be like the guy who runs this podcast who's an introvert. I like people, but I don't like people. Like I can spend all day cooped up in my room, in my house. But there are times I like people. I like being around people, but there's times I don't. So if that's you, you have to just learn how to tolerate and understand people so you can be helpful to them and find out what their needs are. But at the end of the day is, if you're in business, you can't make any money unless you find out what people need. So where can people find you, Erin?
Well, there's my website, Erin Birch, as in the tree, erinbirchcoaching.com. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm there a lot. I'm pretty much on every platform, but Facebook is my main one. I'm on TikTok and Pinterest and all of them. But again, like the messages on Facebook, when you can actually have a conversation with someone, I love that. And then I'm just launching a program. I'm co-hosting a program. It's leadership, the Leadership Academy. It's all things leadership, but also marketing, mindset, prospecting, closing. It's all of it, but we're going heavy on leadership.
Oh, great.
And then I'm going to be launching a new program. It's probably in about 3 months to helping people reprogram their brains.
Oh, that sounds good.
Changing, becoming who you're meant to be, which is getting in control of your own thoughts so that you're able to become the best version of you. That's what this program is going to be about.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So look forward to the links to the Leadership Academy, and for you 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it is. And when I say you, I meant general you, whoever
Mhm.
is out there, because that's great. So, what's your favorite quote or a quote that you have for today?
Well, I would have to go with Dr. Joe Dispenza's "Step into the river of the unknown." So many people are afraid to step out and do something new because of all the self-talk. I'm stupid, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm not smart enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough.
I don't want to.
I've learned to embrace the unknown. You know, like I embraced it so much that I actually enjoy going to the grocery store because I don't know what's going to happen. I could meet the most amazing person in the world. So I look at everything as stepping into the river of the unknown, meaning instead of fearing the unknown, like, oh my God, what's going to happen if I start an online business, to embracing the unknown.
I think that's huge, because as we get older, I found that the sense of awe and wonder, like a child, gets sucked out of us, right? So we have to do something intentional to keep that in us, right? It's almost like we have to take a shot of it every so often, keep that awe and wonder, because Christmas time rolls around and we're just like, another Christmas.
Yeah.
Versus, I wonder what's going to happen.
Exactly. People become set in their ways. You're because you're running on a program. So you're set in your thinking. And yeah, exactly. You've had 50 Christmases or whatever, so it's another Christmas. So again, it's all about choosing a perspective that works for you rather than against you.
Wow.
Right? Like happiness is created within. This is one of the beautiful things about my midlife realization or midlife awakening. So everybody goes through this. Some people will have the midlife crisis and they're realizing they're unfulfilled. They want more fun, more excitement, more adventure. So they will look for it outside themselves, get the convertible Ferrari, the 23-year-old boyfriend or girlfriend. They start shopping their faces off. They start drinking more. They're looking for that fulfillment outside themselves. And then some people, which is what happened to me, which I'm so stinking grateful for, I realized I had to go inside myself. I had to go inside. Happiness is created within. And when you know how to control your thoughts and your perspective, you can be happy within any situation. It reminds me of the movie Life is Beautiful. I don't know if you ever saw that. It was the Italian gentleman who was in a concentration camp with his son. Now, you'd think that would be pretty depressing, but he realized if he led his son's perspective, he created a different perspective for his son wouldn't he changed the experience for his son by making everything a game. Even though they were in this horrible situation, he took on a different perspective and he made sure his son took on the same perspective, so they were in complete control over their own happiness.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Wow. We could go another 30, 40 minutes. Let's do this, Erin. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you one more time?
So my website is Erin Birch Coaching. And then on Facebook, I'm just Erin Birch. Feel free to connect with me there. And then I'm launching something called, I'm on all the platforms. I have a YouTube channel, but I'm mainly on Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, all of it. And then we just launched a couple weeks ago. We start on next week, actually, the Leadership Academy, which is going to be all marketing, mindset, prospecting, closing, and leadership, developing your leadership skills, developing your communication skills too.
Wow.
We're going heavy on that. And then in a couple of months, I'm going to be launching my own program, which helping you become the person you were meant to be, helping you reprogram your brain, helping you get control over your own happiness.
Wow. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, My guest has been Erin Birch. Thank you. If you are whether you're on video or audio, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. This has been Conquer with Chris, the podcast you don't want to miss.